to be quite a nice day, although a somewhat nice but oldish clubhouse, perhaps.
Great to be with you for another incarnation of the Triple Crown Rewind. And you find me at the Portsea Golf Club today, albeit a step back into better times, some would say. The old clubhouse in the background, and well, wow, if those walls could talk, which we'll go a little bit further into today.
Good work. You're right about the rewind. It is episode 3, and once again we must thank the people that numerous amount of people that have been liking our versions, and our fan base is growing. But let's not dwell on that too much today.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, unlike what we do on the golf trip.
That would never happen. Absolutely. Well, the year was the year 2008, which was actually your debut year, Brady, at the Portsea Golf Club. What can you remember about that day?
Personally, a great year, Grant. First tour, young buck, Hawthorn Premiership in 2008 as well too. So, what a great year it was. But hopped on the bus a boy and come back home a man, fair to say, especially after the round at Portsea when I was partnered with the great Michael O'Keefe for the day.
So you were partnered with him on course. I'd like to perhaps draw your attention, even though your memory may be a little bit vague. I know that I was one of the last groups that day, just whacking away with the snow with perhaps 3 to 4 holes to go before you having a couple of refreshments. How was the old spike bar at the Portsea Golf Club, and what can you tell me about it?
Can't remember, Grant. It's very sketchy at best, and I certainly can't remember when you boys got in, but fair to say I was put to the sword early, being a rookie on tour. I think there was a little bit of hazing going on and seeing what the capacity was. Unfortunately, in the drinking sense, and we must always say drink responsibly, of course, whenever we rewind with the Triple Crown. But Michael thought he'd show the young buck how to do it. There was 4 of us that started. We went round the first 4 in a round in about 6.5 minutes for 4 pots. And then it was just left to Mick and I. And unfortunately, through very jaded memory, I thought I'd try and make a statement. But, geez, was I bringing a knife to a gunfight, Hoochie? That's probably one of the great understatements.
That statement may have been 12 to 16 pots later. And look, while we're also there that day, I can remember another funny incident taking place. And you actually find me today from the offices of the Victorian Gaming Commission. I've just sought a bit of advice, really, on how you win a raffle. The spinning wheel that day. Can you tell me about the spinning wheel, Brady, and what happened?
Yeah, I was 11 pots deep, Hooch, at about this stage. So that would have been about an hour and 5 minutes into our time in the clubhouse. But I remember they did have the spinning wheel where you would win prizes. And from memory, our tour director won, if I may use that term. He certainly heard his name called, but we're not sure whether it was by the person at the jump or not. So you may be able to elaborate a little bit further, but I think our tour director was heralded a winner at some point in the afternoon.
That he was, and I can confirm with the Gaming Commission that to be eligible to win this spinning wheel, you must have a ticket, and more so, which we may well have had, but more so you must have the winning ticket. So bit of work to do there on the. That's why we put the raffles and the swindles. That's why we give the snail the chance to win us some money, obviously, because he knows the game. So anyway, better luck next time for the TD.
Yeah, spot on.
So the bus had to be shifted, I understand. So obviously you just find someone responsible to shift the bus and all the gear and everything as we were just about to be deported from the establishment.
Yeah, with best of intentions, we tried to find someone responsible, but we could only find Peter Ockertal about half a dozen pots in. So he thought it was very, very wise and thought he'd test his skills out in the car park and he would move the bus, albeit the weather conditions certainly weren't as nice as what it is in my background today. So he took one for the team, went out in the cold and the wet and grabbed the bus and tried to bring it a little bit closer. But alas, once he got the bus shakily closer to the clubhouse, he was found that there was 11 other chaps waiting for him at the front of the clubhouse because the rest of us had been cut off at the bar. Now, I can't confirm nor deny it was Michael and my behaviour, but the reason giving, I'm led to believe that was they thought we were hydrated enough and maybe should have moved on to the next venue, which ultimately we had to, Grant. But for the life of me, I can't remember where we went afterwards, but once we got the bus pointing in the right direction, and thank you, Peter, for that, you may be able to tell me where we headed.
Oh, I can actually tell you where we headed, and I'm happy to report that we headed to the downtown Woolies at Sorrento for a bit of an Auskick session. So it's good to see a couple of tourists that are, ripping Nick, day's golf, just a couple of jars, and just thought they'd put on a bit of a clinic with a couple of youngsters in the Woolies car park.
Yeah, it's sketchily coming back to me now, and I do recall we had a kick with a couple of the boys in the car park, and I think once again Peter Ockertale come to the fore and spoke about his 18 goals to 3/4 time in runners against Tower Hill that day, and I think the boys took off pretty quickly after that, if my memory serves me correctly as well. So they weren't interested in being told about how good his days used to be, but yeah, certainly I think we were pretty lucky to escape injury free, apart from a little bit of ego bruising and a couple of hamstrings that were a little bit tighter than when we hopped off the bus initially as well.
Right, Brady. And look, my memory, it was just one of the absolute best bus trips we've had. I reckon you've never heard 12 blokes up and about so much from the Portsea Golf Club through to the Woolies car park to get a bit of FS, otherwise known as frozen shit, just to get us through the evening. So, Eldo, it's been an absolute pleasure. We can't wait to get back to Portsea to share a few more stories. The Ockertale stories will always just rear their head, re Tower Hill, but it's one of the great Super Saturdays of the tour, so it's going to be an awesome time in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it won't be in the old clubhouse like we know. The steak lunches are a thing of years past. We're regaled now with glass and steak sandwiches that resemble bar coasters. So certainly not what it was. Certainly wish it was back in the day, set up like the old clubhouse with a U shape around the putting green that gets no sun and looks like rolled mud. But looking forward to it, Grant. We always have a great time. We're always well hosted, and thank you very much for your time. But yeah, we look forward to getting back to Portsea, as you said.
Good on you, Brady, and I'm sure our listeners and viewers will enjoy this episode, and plenty more to come. So enjoy the rest of your day, Brady.
Beautifully done. Chat soon. Thanks again, Grant.
See you, mate.